Welcome back. You're watching Property Guide on Magic Bricks Now, India's first 24/7 real estate channel. We had big news come in today. We saw the 7th pay panel report being submitted, and we're talking about 23.55% hike across the board for all government officials, officers, and of course for government employees and those on pension. Now, the thing to remember about this this pay bump up that we're going to see across the country, it's not retrospective. It will actually reflect in your bank accounts starting the 1st of January. All salaries will go up, all pension will go up. We're talking about a total financial impact of close to 1 lakh crore rupees. I'm going to take you through those numbers. 39,000 crore rupees are going to be spent on allowances. 29,000 crore rupees would go into pay increase, and of course 33,000 crore rupees would go into pensions. That's a massive bump up we're going to see across the country. A lot of Indians are going to find more money in their bank accounts starting the 1st of January. Of course, on this channel we take a closer look at what impact it will have on the real estate market. On your screen right now, 16% hike in salary for government staff, 24% hike in pension for government staff. That's what the panel has recommended and the government has accepted. 63% hike in allowance for government staff. The minimum salary, which used to be around 6,000 rupees a month, is going to go up to 18,000 rupees a month. An annual increment of about 3%. I want to bring in Niranjan Hirananadani, who stayed with us. Mr. Hiranandani, thank you for staying with us. When we see this sort of an increase in cash in hand across the board, how much of that is going to flow into the real estate sector? What sort of an increase in demand are you expecting to see 1st of January onwards?
I don't think you will see an immediate increase in demand, but probably in the next 3 to 6 months, as the money hits the bank, and there'll be a substantial number of people who will be finding that they have capabilities of paying higher EMIs. Also, the fact that they would be able to have higher savings because their expenditure levels have been used to much lower levels of income, so they have the capacity to buying apartments and houses or bigger homes and apartments, or switching over from 1 bedroom to 2, 2 to 3, and so on and so forth. So I think that incremental buying is going to be very large. We saw it earlier at the earliest pay commissions happening. Also, we found that the government servants are able to buy bigger houses or affordable segments of houses in a bigger sort of way. The demographics have also made a change. Younger people are getting salaries and banks are willing to give loans and other things. So this incremental advantage for the youth, also the children of the government servants, will be able to pay bigger EMIs and other things. So you're going to see definitely a surge in demand of homes, but it won't be in January of next year. Probably over a period of 6 to 12 months, I think you will see a surge in demand.
All right, I'm going to ask you to put on your economist hat at this point. If you're looking at a total bill of 1 lakh crore rupees to the government across the board, where is this money going to come from? Now, ET Now, our sister channel, broke a story today where the government, they said, is considering a GST of about 20 to 22%. That would seem fairly high. Is that where the money is going to come from? If I were to ask you to hazard a guess of how this bill was going to be picked up and where it's going to come from, what would you say?
I think you're right. I think somewhere down the line, the increase in service tax and other things have already seen a buoyancy which is beyond imagination. And luckily, our subsidy relating to oil and gas has come down tremendously because prices of oil and gas has come down. So there has been a saving of almost 30,000 crores per year of the government. So I presume that all that will be pushed towards the payments to be paid to the government servants.
All right, final question, Mr. Hiranandani. When we talk to the viewers who are watching right now, and a large portion of the people who watch are government officers or government employees who are going to see an increase in their salaries, what's your word of advice on how to deal with that, that extra money in their bank accounts? Everybody wants to own a home. Should they wait it out, see what the market's going to look like, or do you think that starting January they should start at least hunting for a home?
You know, I've been telling friends and people who ask my advice in the last 30 years, if you have to buy a house, please buy it today. Tomorrow becomes much more difficult, and inflation still is continuing. It may be at a lower rate, but it does continue. So almost if you take the interest rates that are now being required to be paid between after taking interest subsidy, etc., an average of about 7%, I think an inflation to be around 5%. So you're really paying a real interest rate of only 2% that you do. With the income tax benefit is there, I think it makes a smart move to be able to buy a house, including the fact of the capacity to pay an EMI. So combined of the two, the earlier you buy the house, the better it is. And I think just now with the markets little bit in recession, this would be the right time to get the best deals or the best apartments or the best flat, because otherwise you'd be left with the residuary of flats and maybe you are a competing rising market.
All right, Niranjan Hirananadani, many thanks for joining us on the show this evening, joining us live and talking to us about the 7th Pay Commission. In fact, let's listen in to Justice A.K. Mathur. He's the chairman of the 7th Pay Commission, as he made an announcement